Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Shalom. I'm David Mensa, Israeli government spokesman for the National Public Diplomacy Directorate in the Office of the Prime Minister. This Monday, the 16th of December, day 437 of this October the 7th war. In the last few minutes, sirens sounded here in central Israel. A missile was launched from Yemen. The missile was intercepted by the Israeli Air Force before it crossed into Israeli territory. Sirens were sounded due to the possibility of falling shrapnel from the interception. Just so you know, so I can share with you precisely what happens. The air raid siren went off. We have 1.5 minutes to get to shelter. Myself and my colleagues did just that. And that means not just me here working in Israel, but every single person living in this area. So that's millions of people, children, mums, dads, old people having to run to shelter because of this Yemeni missile. Yemenis and the Houthis in particular should understand very, very well, as the Houthis understand, and as Hezbollah understand very well, as Hamas understand very well, that Israel's patience is not inexhaustible. So a couple of points from me, and then we'll get straight to your questions. Firstly, let me start by drawing your attention to the comments the Prime Minister made last night about changes in our region on Syria. Israel has no interest in conflict with Syria. Our default position is, of course, for neighbourly relations, but our policy on Syria will reflect the reality on the ground. Let's be clear. For decades now, Syria has been an active enemy of the State of Israel. Syria has attacked Israel on repeated occasions. Iran and Hezbollah have embedded themselves in Syria and attacked us from Syria. Iran armed Hezbollah through Syria. This will not reoccur. The government has directed the IDF to do two things. Number one, to thwart potential threats from Syria, and number two, prevent terrorists from taking control close to our border. Israel is committed to preventing the rearming of Hezbollah. Next, an operational update. Yesterday in Gaza, our armed forces conducted an intelligence-led precise strike on Hamas terrorists inside Command and Control Center that was previously the UNRWA Sheikh Jamil School, also known as the Ahmad Abdul Aziz School, in the Humanitarian zone in Khan Yunis. Hamas systematically operate where Gazans live. Yes, of course, Israel took steps to save Gazan lives, precise munitions, precise aerial surveillance, and additional intelligence, but Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad systematically violate international law by exploiting the Gazan lives as human shields. Next, in Judea and Samaria, also called the West Bank, since the start of this war, more than 6,000 wanted people have been arrested, with 2,350 connected with Hamas. Last night, I can tell you that in Jericho, our forces confiscated more than 1 million shekels of terrorist funding. Elsewhere, other terrorist funds were seized, as well as guns and ammunitions confiscated. And I can also share with you that in the last day, earlier this morning actually, another UAV was launched from Yemen, and that too was intercepted by the Israeli Navy missile boat in the Mediterranean. The UAV was intercepted prior to crossing into Israeli territory. As we have said to you before, the Houthis will understand, as Hezbollah understands in Lebanon, as Hamas understand in Gaza, that Israel's patience is not inexhaustible. And finally, to govt, our latest figures in the last 24 hours, 254 humanitarian aid trucks went into Gaza, 42 via the Erez crossing, 212 via Kerem Shalom crossing. In terms of collection, 75 trucks were collected from the Gazan side of Kerem Shalom by international organizations, but still 700 trucks worth of aid are waiting for collection. A convoy of 14 aid trucks entered Gaza via Route 96 yesterday, and 6 tankers of gas for critical infrastructure also went in. 2 ambulances and 1 bus for medical needs went into northern Gaza yesterday. In addition, perhaps I can share with you that Cindy McCain, the chair of the World Food Programme, gave some incorrect figures about aid going into Gaza. Just to perhaps enlighten the World Food Programme about the correct figures, the most updated information, which was not shared perhaps with Cindy McCain. So let me give you the opportunity of hearing the correct figures. These are the facts. During the month of November, 847 World Food Programme trucks were coordinated into Gaza. Let me repeat that. Not the 2 or 3 trucks which Cindy McCain talked about, but 847 World Food Programme trucks were coordinated into Gaza. These trucks entered Gaza through crossings from Israel. Indeed, over the last week alone, 1,316 humanitarian aid trucks, including food, including water, including medical supplies, including shelter, have entered Gaza, and 1,318 trucks were distributed within Gaza to humanitarian warehouses and shelters in coordination with aid organisations and the international community. Since the start of December, over 16 million pounds of flour have entered Gaza for bakeries in Gaza. As we always say, the IDF and govt acts in accordance with international law. Hamas want to starve their own people, but Israel gets the food in.